What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to the Robbie Basel Show. Today is a video previewing the weekend. We're talking Premier League. We are talking a breaking news from F1. We got the NFL. We're briefly talking President's Cup. Throughout this video, hopefully I remember to talk about the President's Cup because I don't really know if I'm even going to address it. We'll address that first, right after a couple of announcements. So first off, thank you for everyone who tuned into the Ball Knowers season opener on Tuesday. I know it said it was going to be at 1. There's a good chance it starts a little bit earlier as the semester goes on. I'm filming something else now at, sorry, my hair's a mess as well, at 2, and I have to be there a little bit early. So I will see what that's going to look like going forward, but hopefully as the semester goes on, I'm filming videos on Mondays and usually Friday. Today, I'm actually filming this on Thursday, due to the timing of everything. But as we go on, the shows for Ball Knowers, I know it was a little bit chaotic, the first one. That's how it is always with me going with a new team. That's just the way it is. And I thought it wasn't the worst start, but I've had better days on WIR, and we'll continue to learn. I'll continue to know the direction of that show, and we'll see how it continues. I'm excited for the project. I'm really happy to be a part of it, and that's all I'm commenting on that. Additionally, what else is going on? ESPN, I'm working a couple of games, filming, and I do a little bit of technical directing this weekend. I'm not sure yet. I don't find out my role for Sunday's game for a bit, but I'm setting up cameras on Saturday. So if you see me around campus, that's what I'm doing. Anything else? There's also a chance that I am doing the game for JJ on Sunday, Sunday Night Football, the second game of the week, and there's also a chance I'm running pregame, postgame, halftime, pregame, halftime, postgame for tomorrow. I just don't know yet. So make sure you pay attention to my Instagram. Would be appreciated if you drop me a follow at rbasel_11. Um, the other big thing with this channel is that Basel breakdowns will happen. The first couple won't really have like an intro, and they may not be edited the best. The plan is to film those on Mondays or Tuesday. It'll be about a 4 or 5 minute breakdown, and hopefully I'll find a way to fit it on an Instagram post. Those will be on, for now, the Robbie Basel Show Instagram. So you can check that out as well. Link in this, the handle is in the description. Those should be starting on Wednesday, posting wise. I haven't decided what direction, like if we're gonna do like a specific sport. The breakdowns would probably, but I believe how it's gonna work is it's gonna primarily be either a player who made a big impact for the weekend. For example, if like Erling Haaland scores like 17 goals somehow, it's like a ridiculous feat, an incident in the Premier League, like a red card or something along that magnitude. Or if we see something controversial from the NFL, something controversial in Major League Baseball in the final weekend, which we'll also preview today, we'll talk about it in a Basel breakdown. Also, clips will be coming back. I have some ideas, and I just got word that the White Sox are winning again. So the White Sox don't want to go to 121 losses, but regardless, clips should be coming back. We'll be doing some videos in the future. NBA, I know NHL preview, I'm trying to do next Friday. NBA preview the week after, depending on how everything shakes out. Because I don't know, I'm still trying to learn if I could put in highlights for some stuff and how I would do that. Like, I'm still trying to learn all that stuff. So honestly, who the hell knows? Um, Maybe it's something where if I could find a way to play them live, if we can do that, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'll try to have that working for the NBA season preview, which should be one of the next 3 videos. NHL season previews also I'm planning on doing it as one of the next 3 videos. Hopefully, maybe with Cameron and Luke, which that's a possibility in the future, but we'll wait and see. Listen, if they want to come back and do the NHL season preview with me, if I have to do it by myself, I don't mind that at all. Last year at the preview, we actually almost nailed it with the playoff teams. We did overhype Calgary and a couple of others. We didn't do an NBA preview last year due to miscommunication, and it was supposed to be on Into the Stands, and we didn't do it. So now, like many things, uh, we'll change course, and now the first NBA season preview should be coming next week. And who I have in the playoffs, who do I have winning what award wise, who I have winning the NBA championship for the upcoming season, who to watch out for. So it's all going to be coming together, and I'll make my season predictions video next week. I'm rambling too long. Let's talk sports. President's Cup. We'll talk about this for about a whole 2 minutes. It is in action on the time I'm recording this. It's 4 days. It's all weekend. There are, I believe the formats are, it's Thursday for, I forgot the format. Hold on. And while I remember this, because I know it's Ryder Cup, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. President's Cup, it's a little bit different. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So let's pull up the President's Cup format, and hopefully I will put the format in the video. If I don't, it is what it is. Format, yes, that's what we want. The President's Cup format. We know the rosters. It's about, I think it's like 12-man teams or something. So round one, it's 4-ball. So everyone plays their ball, and whoever has the best score out of their team counts as the score, and it's match play. So like, say you tie on a hole, both players get par, you're all square. But if someone wins a hole, you're 1 up, and then the score goes like that, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but it is what it is. And each of the matches, depending on if there's a winner or not, will earn their team 1 point. So it's 2v2 best ball. Winner, if there is a winner, it gets a point. If they tie, there's no playoff holes. It goes as half a point. So it'd be 0.5 to the score. The first team to accumulate 15.5 points over the stretch wins the whole thing. Is it only to Saturday? Yeah, no, there is singles. I'm stupid. This thing sucks. Round 2 is tomorrow, and they are playing foursomes, which I believe it is alt shot, which I hate alternate shot. I suck at alt shot. I haven't done alt shot in a while. Alternate shot, so player tees it. I think both players tee off, and then it's alt shot rest of the hole. So like say, oh my God, I'm gonna use a terrible reference here, but me and this little toy here, it's like a phone holder, are playing a hole. We both tee off and we take his tee shot, which would be kind of pathetic because he has no arms. But get with me here. I would be playing the next shot, and it would be alternate shot from there. So then he would hit the third and the fourth, and I would hit the fourth, and so on and so forth. And then on the next hole, I believe they both drive. I think that's how it is, but yeah, you get the idea. Saturday is 2 rounds in the morning and afternoon, and you go see, I believe, 4-ball in the morning. 4-ball in the morning, foursome again in the afternoon. And then Sunday, it's 1v1 singles. You just play your ball. If you win the hole, you win the hole. If you don't, you don't. 12 1v1s, and whoever gets 15.5 points first wins. We go to the I'm not gonna go over the scoring right now. So me, after the first day, you could put the score here. Because it is Thursday during the round when I'm filming this. So who are some players that I know that are good at match play to watch out for this week on both the United States team and the internationals? A typical one would have been like a Jordan Spieth or a Justin Thomas, but I don't believe either of them are playing. I don't even remember the full U.S. team, so that's already a problem. But right now, the United States, as of the time of recording this, are winning all 5 matches. You always want to watch out for Scotty Scheffler. You always want to watch out for a Wyndham Clark, a Patrick Cantlay. But Xander Schauffele has always been one, to me at least, that's always been strong in match play. You saw that in previous Ryder Cups and President's Cups, that Xander Schauffele doesn't find ways to lose, which is kind of impressive. If you want to talk about another player, sneaky player who can make some noise, I mean, I would definitely go Xander as one of my players to watch out for. Scotty Scheffler is going to be watched by everyone, but Xander is my main focus. He's really good in match play. Um, Colin Morikawa is another one. He just doesn't find ways to screw up in a match. I would be backing him. And if I had to pick another one, Sam Burns is a good shout, but I wouldn't pick Sam. So like maybe like a Max Homa. Like just if you want to pick a diamond from the rough who's not playing today, probably Max Homa. On the internationals, they have a lot of good options, but Minwoo Lee has always been one of my favorites for something like this. I would say him. Good ball striker, can drive the ball along. Putting game's a little bit inconsistent, but I like Minwoo Lee in these types of situations. You have the experience with Adam Scott. A lot of Australian players with Adam Scott and Jason Day, Minwoo Lee, a couple of Canadians because it's in Canada with Corey Connors and Mackenzie Hughes. How will they play? And on home soil in Montreal, that's something to watch out for. But Tom Kim's another fun story. Him and Siwoo Kim, who I believe will be playing together. I don't know if they're playing together they played together today. Uh yeah, Tom Kim and Siwoo Kim played together. They did go up against Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley, which is a tough ask off the jump, but there's some maybe a group to watch out for, but a team like a pairing to watch out for will be the youth of Minwoo Lee and the experience of Adam Scott as the tournament progresses if they keep those two together. There's a lot of good options, but you can't go against a guy players who've won on tour and Corey Connors and Hideki Matsuyama, who's won a Masters championship. Both teams have a ton of quality. I'd be backing the United States to win it. They have a little bit more quality, a little bit more youth, a little bit more length. They have, and with a course like Montreal, you're going to need the length at times. And Scotty Scheffler is one of the guys who you can back for that. Xander Schauffele, who won't have as much length, but is really good with irons. You have a Sam Burns and Patrick Cantlay, both guys who can hit it long and can stripe the ball with the irons. You have a good duo with Wyndham Clark and Keegan Bradley. We're seeing them in action against Christian Besadenhout of South Africa and Taylor Pendrith of Canada. You have Keegan, who's great off on the irons, and you have Wyndham Clark, who I believe is more known for his off the tee shenanigans. I mean, he can hit the ball very long. So it's all going to go down. I think the U.S. will win this, not comfortably, but by a decent margin. I think I'd be backing the U.S. to win this by a decent margin. They have the more, like I said, they have the more quality. They have the players to do it. I think the United States will retain the President's Cup by a pretty hefty margin. Premier League is in action. Let's go over the games for this weekend on match week, whatever the hell it is. Is it week 7 already? What week are we on? I don't even know. We are on week 6. Praise the Lord. We're on week 6 already. What are your games to watch out for Saturday? Before we do that part, well, let's do through the matches. Early game is Newcastle hosting Man City by the coast at St. James's Park. You have Arsenal, who hosts Leicester. You have Brentford, who will be hosting a struggling West Ham team. Chelsea plays a big one. They host Brighton. Everton plays Palace in the battle of teams towards the bottom. Nottingham plays Fulham. And the 12:30 game, it's Wolves at the Molineux hosting Liverpool. What are my games to watch out for? I'm intrigued to see how Newcastle plays at home against Manchester City. That was going to be the game I was going to pick. But even if it's the early game and not a lot of people from the States might be able to watch this thing, Newcastle at home is way more impressive, and they're a really impressive team when they're able to capitalize at home. And you saw it from the numbers from last year, how much better they were at home compared to the road. It was a very drastic difference from goal scoring to defense, everything around it. They're going up against a Man City team who struggled in the second half against the low block 10-man Arsenal. They're able to grab a goal late and salvage a point out of the match. By the way, there's no teams that are like 5 wins from 5. So City are top. They're going to go to St. James's Park. I think City draw this game. I think Newcastle could really cause problems. I really do. This isn't me being a biased or anything because I have a feeling some people might say that. Newcastle at home is a problem. I think City will score multiple goals, but the way Newcastle can respond and the way they're able to play at times, especially with City without Rodri controlling the midfield, I think Newcastle will grab a point. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw early on in the day. 10 o'clock session, there's not a lot to watch out for other than I believe Chelsea against Brighton, a Brighton team that can't win or lose. They just draw a ton. Brighton, through their first 5 matches, have 2 wins from 5, but they're unbeaten at the same time, which you really don't hear of. Chelsea, on the other hand, have won 3, lost 1, and drawn 1, and are in 5th, 3 points off top of the league. A Chelsea team that I really didn't know what to expect from them in the beginning of the season. New manager, a lot of new players. How are they all going to mesh together? Well, they're meshing just fine, and they're able to come out here in their first couple of matches and go out and grab some results. You started off early in the year. We go to the bottom. Let's see how they started. It's not even letting me show. There we go, results page. So let's look at Chelsea, how they started the year. They started it off losing to City. That's not terrible. I mean, it's Man City. They beat Wolves 6-2. They drew Crystal Palace. They beat Bournemouth and beat West Ham. They're back at home against a Brighton team that's been okay on the road, but like they just draw too many times. I have Chelsea capitalizing on the lack of scoring from Brighton. I think this Chelsea team has the chance to really make up some ground depending on how all the matches play out. So I think they'll be able to stay inside the top 5, and I think they come out with a 2-1 win over the Seagulls. Other results I think they're going to happen. I think Arsenal are going to beat Leicester. I have Brentford drawing West Ham. That West Ham team really struggling. My pick of Nicholas Füllkrug is not for a signing of the season, not looking very good. And I have Everton beating Palace. Palace on the road, they haven't been good, and I think Everton on the road will really put this Crystal Palace team in shambles. And I have Nottingham going out there and beating Fulham, a Nottingham Forest team that's really surprised to start the year. Late game, I have Liverpool beating Wolves 1-0. This Wolves team doesn't score. They've been a little bit inconsistent in defense, but I think Liverpool get the job done. And Sunday, you have a very interesting opening tie. You've Ipswich Town hosting Aston Villa. Now, I'm intrigued by this tie because Ipswich are one of those teams that are really resilient. It's the battle of resiliency is really what it is because Aston Villa don't lose. Well, they don't like drop points ever. And if you look at Ipswich, they haven't won a game yet. I don't think they win this one, but they've drawn 3 times already. And they just came off a very frustrating draw against Southampton. I think they're going to score. I don't think they win it. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Villa. But playing away to Ipswich, I'm interested to see how Villa responds to the environment in Ipswich. And then you have Manchester United against Tottenham, 2 teams that to me have been really disappointing to start the season with the anticipation of how good that Tottenham team and Manchester United teams respectfully could be. They haven't been good at all. But who's the team riding any momentum at all? Well, neither of them are, but you can get where I'm going with this. I'm picking Tottenham to win this game. Now, Tottenham are coming off a win against Brentford, which is the essentially beating a college team if you're a Premier League squad. It's like Arsenal beating Bolton. Like that's a better comparison. But Tottenham didn't go out there in the middle of the week and draw their Europa League match. Manchester United did. Hopefully, I put that on the screen. They drew to FC20 of the Netherlands 1-1. You know, that's impressive in itself. But I have Tottenham on the road causing chaos and winning this game 1-0. I think Ange will figure it out. I think they have to figure it out. And why not make a statement by going away to one of the hardest stadiums to play at and winning at Old Trafford 1-0? I think that's a good Tottenham way to do it. Also, Tottenham, I believe, won the first time these two played last year by like a goal or 2. I don't really remember, but I believe Tottenham won the first tie between these two last year. I think they'll do it again at Spurs on top on the road at Old Trafford. And then we got a Monday game, first one in a while. You got Bournemouth and Southampton, a very weird tie on for a Monday match. This game just got booted to Monday. Um, Ahead of, I think I got like a big storm coming their way too. So I'm actually glad this is getting played on Monday, not like on like a Tuesday or something. Regardless, what am I expecting? Bournemouth have looked kind of shaky, but they're doing better than Southampton. I think they are going to beat Southampton at home. The vitality is going to be rocking on a Monday night. I think Bournemouth, with the quality they have in the midfield and in the attack at times, I think they're going to be able to get it done. I have Bournemouth 2, Southampton 0. A very intriguing weekend in the Premier League. And shockingly, I didn't even talk about it for that long. I'm making improvements here, chat. I've gone on recently to like ramble about stuff like I'm doing right now. But it's a really weird spot. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm trying not to talk that long, but hopefully giving you analysis for the games to watch out for on the weekend. Regardless, let's talk NFL. Dallas and the Giants are playing on the night we're recording this. Hopefully the game went okay. Here is the score on your screen now, I guess. I don't know. What are the games for Sunday? Well, let's run through all of the games and we'll tell you what to watch out for, just like the Premier League in this segment. So we have the Bengals taking on the Carolina Panthers. Very interesting contest. You have the Saints and the Falcons in the Battle of the South and the NFC South. You have an AFC South matchup between the Jags and the Texans. You have the Broncos heading to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. You have the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers dueling it out in a good old NFC North battle, NFC North contest. You have the Indianapolis Colts, who've been really struggling, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. You have the Los Angeles Rams, who've proven absolutely nothing, taking on Caleb Williams and the Bears at Soldier Field. You have the Eagles and the Bucks in a rematch from the playoffs recently. You have the Commanders and Washington, the Commanders and the Cardinals, the Battle of the Seas in the late afternoon slate. You have Brock Purdy and the injured to hell 49ers taking on whoever's starting for the Patriots. I don't even know if they're going to start Drake May. It'll probably be Brissett again. Who the hell knows? And the Patriots. You have the main event of the afternoon slot, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on a Derwin James-less and probably Justin Herbert-less Los Angeles Chargers in LA. You got the Cleveland Browns, who've been really terrible in the battle of who sucks more. They're taking on the Raiders, and those should be the early games. Sunday Night Football is Bills Ravens, and we have a doubleheader on Monday Night Footballs on 2 different networks. You got Will Levis and the Titans taking on, I don't even know who the Dolphins are going to start. Tyler Huntley, I guess, and the Dolphins. And then you have my favorite game of the late games. You have the undefeated Mike McDonald, excuse me, led Seattle Seahawks going to Detroit to take on Jared Goff and the Lions. What to watch out for on Sunday in the early and afternoon games, and what to watch out for on the nightcaps. The 2 games I am watching out for in the early slate. It's going to be Green Bay against Minnesota, the battle of the backups. We don't know if Jordan Love is going to play this game. We haven't really had word at this time if he will play yet. If Malik Willis is playing, I still think they'll be okay. Malik Willis was really able to show off his legs, his movement against a pretty all right Tennessee Titans defense. He was able to show off the arm a little bit, able to make plays from inside the pocket, rolling to his right or to his left. Malik Willis did a lot of the things correctly, albeit it was against the Titans in a revenge game still. So there were still some stakes to that contest. Now you're going to see a much higher staked contest between Green Bay and Minnesota, a battle of 2 teams that are, especially Minnesota being here, 2 teams that will be vying for the top spot in the NFC North, possibly by the end of the weekend. This is just something to watch out for. I like Minnesota more, but I trust Green Bay at home more. I'm not picking a winner because I don't think this game could really go either way. It's going to come down to, can Sam Darnold continue his play, or will he fall off like Derek Carr did last week? And if Malik Willis can kind of replicate his game from last week, something similar to it at least, if he does something similar, the Packers are winning this game. But if he doesn't, there's a good shot the Vikings will destroy Green Bay. It's a game that has a lot that could go wrong, but this game could also turn into a big shootout between two backup quarterbacks. I don't know what to expect. Other 1 o'clock game to watch out for. I was gonna say Jets Broncos, but Zach Wilson's not starting. Also, shout out Bo Nix. He will be intriguing to watch out for. In that game, I do have the Jets winning against another rookie quarterback. I mean, the Pats didn't start Jacoby Brissett, but you get the idea. Um, the Jets have looked really good. I say they win by 17. 27-10 was my score that I wrote down. Also, prediction for actually, no, we're not predicting Thursday Night Football. But the other 1 o'clock game I want to talk about is the battle in Chicago between the Bears and the Rams. Two teams that have really struggled to start the year. You have the Los Angeles Rams, who've had a lot of talent struck by injuries, however. The big injuries are to their receiving core with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, two players that are on the IR currently. Those are going to be two types of players that Los Angeles needs to get back in order to get themselves where they want to be, or have people step up in those spots. And the one player that stepped up for them, I believe at least, has been Kyren Williams. And Kyren Williams, especially in the first couple of weeks, has been really, really good for the Los Angeles Rams in the run game. But someone needs to step up in the pass game, whether it be Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell. You have someone like Jordan Whittington. Someone needs to step up for this Los Angeles Rams group if they want to have a chance. Because the Bears, if Caleb can limit the turnovers, the Bears can win this game. I like the connection he's starting to make with Rome Odunze. I think he's going to be one player a lot of people will be wanting to watch out for this week. But at the same time, they need some stable quarterback play by Caleb Williams. You haven't really seen that. You saw some glimpses of what he could do against Indianapolis. But he threw two terrible interceptions. You need to see, for his sake, some semblance of a ground game through DeAndre Swift. If they can get something going with DeAndre Swift, we've seen the inability by the Rams to stop the run at times. If they can get something going with DeAndre Swift, I think the Bears have a really good shot at winning this game. Can Caleb keep it together? Who will step up in the receiving game? Whether it be DJ Moore or Cole Kmet or Rome Odunze, one of the three or all three of that have to be at their top level in order for them to possibly go out there and win this game. I have Los Angeles winning a thriller. I have them winning by 3 points. I think this game will go down to who has the last turnover. Afternoon games, one or two afternoon games to watch out for. There's not a lot here, but if I had to pick a 4 o'clock game to watch out for, it's going to be how the Chargers respond to the injuries they've had. Are they able to respond to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, a team that's also dealing with injury because they've lost Isaiah Pacheco and Hollywood Brown? The Chiefs have been able to get people to step up because of Pacheco going down, with Carson Steele being his replacement, to Hollywood Brown being bad. Him being out, of course. He's being replaced by Rashee Rice. How can all of these players come together to come out and beat this Los Angeles Chargers group? That's something I want to watch out for as time continues in this game. It's going to be a back and forth, I think, possibly if Herbert even plays, but I do have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Los Angeles Chargers. So what games do I want to watch out for on the nightcap games? Because there's a lot of options. Well, a lot of options. 3 options. But Seahawks Lions takes the bait for me. I'm going to be doing Buffalo against Baltimore. So I believe I'm doing Buffalo against Baltimore. So I don't really comment on Buffalo versus Baltimore. But I'll comment on Seattle against Detroit, two teams that have still something to prove. 'Cause Seattle, yes, they just beat Miami, but that Miami team didn't really have a quarterback to play against. They're going against a Detroit team that's pesky to play against, especially on the road. I think Detroit's going to cause Seattle to get their first loss on the season. I have Seattle falling only by one score, but I think this Detroit team, headlined by Amon-Ra St. Brown, hopefully a healthy Sam Laporta, a dual running game of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they'll be able to use all of those pieces really well together, and I think the Detroit Lions will win this game over Seattle. Uh, Tennessee, Miami is going to be terrible. And we'll talk about Ravens, Bills on hopefully the day of the game. So Major League Baseball, that's where we'll be finishing this video today. Real quick, what to watch out for as the final weekend of the season is here. Well, I can tell you for free that the time of the recording of this video, the White Sox swept the Angels. So you're telling me there's a chance the White Sox don't lose all the games. There's a very good chance that they lose multiple. They finish off the season with the Tigers, a Tigers team that's risen to the second wild card and have a cool 3-game gap because they just beat Tampa today. So the Tigers, with 3 games to go, kind of control what they can control. They've won 9 of 10, and they finish with the White Sox. So that should be something that should be really intriguing as we continue. The big story of the week was Baltimore. They clinched their playoff spot earlier in the week. The Yankees and Cleveland both clinched byes. Going to be interested to see who gets the 1 seed. The Yankees have one more against Baltimore. I believe they finished with, I don't even remember who they finished with. They finished with Pittsburgh at home. So that series is going to have a little bit up for grabs as well. In the wild card race, it'll be a duel to the finish, headlined by Detroit and Kansas City. Can both of them hold on? The Royals are in a very weird spot. They're going to Atlanta. Now, we'll talk about Atlanta in a second, but KC did their job. They went out there and beat the Nationals a couple of times. You just got to go out there and beat the Nationals. You know what I'm saying? But the Royals were able to get the job done. And at the end of the day, that's what they needed to do. They got the job done against the Nationals. Now you have to go to Atlanta. An Atlanta situation where we don't even know if they're going to play on Friday because they're dealing with like possible hurricanes and stuff. That's like around Florida currently. It's progressing through the Atlanta area. And that's why the Mets didn't play to yesterday or the day we're recording this video is because of the storm. And now there's a possible doubleheader on Monday if there's any implications for that final wild card spot whatsoever, which sends us to the National League wild card. Also, shout out for Minnesota and Seattle for staying in it, but Seattle has to sweep Oakland, and the Royals or Tigers have to get swept to have the Mariners to get any form of a chance. The Twins blew it because they lost a game to the Marlins. How do you lose a game to the Marlins? They do get to play the Marlins again on the day we're recording this. Hopefully they don't lose. Because if the Twins win, they're 2 games back with 3 games to go. And the Twins, don't they play who do they finish with? The Twins finish with Baltimore, so they probably have no chance. If there's any team that has an outside chance, it's Seattle because they play Oakland. Also, the final Oakland home game is the day of the recording of this video. Hopefully it went okay. If I have to make an extra segment, I'll make an extra segment for this video. If there's any chaos to happen on the final night, because if you know baseball history, you know fans storm the field after the final game, but we'll see. It's been a very tearful last couple of days, and I talked about the John Fisher statement and all of that. If you want to watch the Ball Knowers video, so I addressed it all in the Ball Knowers video. Just so we don't keep it, but essentially, we talked about how Trevor May was right in his statement, because he basically said just gave a big middle finger back to John Fisher because John Fisher essentially gave a big middle finger to the fans of Oakland. And for those who are saying that the A's never cared, the fans never cared about the Athletics, it's not true. It's a hard place to get to, and they've been passionate for 56 years. You see all those runs in the 80s and 90s, the recent teams in the mid 2010s, how good all those teams were and the support that they got. It's going to be really heartbreaking to watch that team leave Oakland, the third team to leave Oakland in recent years. And for me, as a fan of sports, you just hate to see it, something like this, just because an owner is cheap. And now other outside fans are now starting to blame A's fans, which I don't believe is right. Because listen, A's fans, they've been great for that team, grateful for that group of team, that franchise for 56 years. And the fact that they're doing the move now, having to go to Sacramento, it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes for the A's. And I hope for their sake that they won the final game, but it's going to be a wait and see on that one. National League wild card. The Mets don't play. The main three all play on the 27th, which is Friday. So let's go over what to watch for on the final weekend of the National League wild card. We know the teams that have the bye. It's Los Angeles and Philadelphia, the two division winners out of the East and the West and the East. The Brewers will be playing in the wild card round because they blew it themselves. But the teams to watch out for include the New York Mets, Atlanta Braves, and the San Diego Padres, along with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Padres clinched their playoff spot. Congratulations. Welcome to the playoffs, San Diego Padres. A team that I really didn't expect to do anything this season proves me wrong, and they make it. Congratulations to the Padres. They had a really good season. They've won 8 of their last 10 to get here. They deserve to be here, and well, they've done their job, and they have to play the Dodgers again. They can clinch top wild card. I believe they'll get the top wild card spot. Now it's a battle between the next 3: the Mets, the Braves, and the Diamondbacks. The team in probable control, is no one because the Diamondbacks face the Padres this weekend. So essentially, the Padres can benefit the Mets or the Braves. Here's how the situation basically goes. If the Mets win multiple games and the Braves drop one and the Braves lose their series to the Kansas City Royals, that doubleheader doesn't really matter. The Mets just need to focus on, I think, have to focus on winning multiple games and not focus on what Atlanta is doing or Arizona. Because I think the Diamondbacks are going to lose at least one to San Diego based on the form that San Diego is in. Who do I think those 3 playoff teams are going to be? It's a very tough ask. I think it's going to stay the 3 that it is. I think Atlanta does miss it. It's really weird to say that, especially with how good I thought that Atlanta team was going to be. I thought their headline player was going to be Ronald Acuna, and that team was going to be able to emerge as a contender for the next decade. They're going to be a contender for a long time, yes, but injuries and underperformance is why they're in this situation in the first place. The Diamondbacks also haven't really helped themselves. The one thing they know how to do is score, and they could really score. They have scored 872 runs. That leads the National League. I believe that is top of all of baseball. Yes, it is. By a wide margin. This D-backs team can really score, and that's going to be the reason why I think they're going to be really dangerous against the Padres. I think the Diamondbacks should win multiple against the Padres. I think the Mets will take 2 against Milwaukee, setting up a likely doubleheader on Monday, which I think will be split, and the Mets will go to the playoffs as the final wild card team, and they will have to go up again against the Milwaukee Brewers. A series that would be absolutely ridiculous because we don't know what type of Mets team we're going to get. They're going to have to play, I believe, all 3 games on the road. We'll preview the playoffs for them on Tuesday. I almost forgot. I just did the full recording, and I almost forgot that I didn't get to talk about Daniel Ricciardo. So let's talk about the Daniel Ricciardo V-card situation. And it was revealed on the day of recording of this video that Daniel Ricciardo left RB, and there's a good chance we won't see him race in Formula One again. 8 wins, 258 starts, racing for 4 to 5 different teams, from Red Bull in the beginning, going to Renault and McLaren, and then going to was part of AlphaTauri that turned into VCarb. His journey is something that, I mean, who else could have expected it? Great start with Red Bull, wanted to be a #1 driver somewhere else, went to Renault and then to McLaren. Won a race with McLaren, won in Monza just a few years ago. The impact that Daniel had, he always went to work, drove with a smile. And if you remember from last week, when we saw the tearful expressions in Singapore at the end of the Singapore Grand Prix, you knew it was the end. And now it officially is probably the end of Danny Rick in Formula One. It sucked to see him go out the way he did. I think they could have done it a lot better, VCarb. I'm shocked they didn't let him go. Like, they didn't let him say, like, a farewell speech or something. Like, let him go to Austin, say goodbye at Austin, a track that a lot of fans love him at, and we've seen him pull off different stunts at Austin at the United States Grand Prix. It is, for me, a viewer, going to be really different. And now you're really seeing the new age of Formula One drivers coming in. Started with Piastri. You now see Jack Doohan from Alpine, who I completely forgot about. You have Ollie Behrman for Haas. And now you're going to see another one with Liam Lawson going to drive in that VCarb for the rest of the year. Put up or shut up time for him as well, because all the hype that's around him. I'm hoping he does well. I never want to wish something bad on one of the drivers. It's just weird to see Daniel go out like that. And I didn't expect it. I was one of the ones who's still confident that they're not going to let Daniel go, but it is what it is. I always loved watching Daniel race through the years that I was able to watch Formula One. Going back, I rewatched some of the races wins he had for Red Bull. I saw some highlights from him at Renault. Watched the days of him at McLaren, and now watch the days of him at VCarb or AlphaTauri. And you see him like in interviews and stuff. He's really just chill, dude. Had all the vibes in the world, and that's something Formula One will miss for sure. It sucks to see Daniel go out like that. I think, of course, you always think that people could have done something differently, but with someone leaving a brand like that, I do think VCarb could have done it way differently. And now I'm, not for Liam's sake, but just going to bring this up. I don't know how the fans in Austin are going to, I don't know how they're all going to receive this. Like, what's the reception for Liam going to be like? Are fans going to be mad at VCarb? Not just VCarb fans, but F1 fans. Are they going to be mad at VCarb for letting Daniel go the way they did it? It's the second driver sacking of the year, starting with Logan Sargent, and now with Daniel Ricciardo. With 6 races to go, with not many races to go, it's really all to play for. From the driver standings, I guess, to race seats as well. Always something to watch out for as the rest of the season continues in just a couple weeks' time. I know it's a disappointing way for this episode to end, but this will be the end of today's episode of the Robbie Basel Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. And for now, I'm Robbie Basel saying so long and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.